Hey everybody, welcome back to the Breath of Fire 3 walkthrough. We just finished with Windia. Took a little cut there. So we have the passport and we need to get to the Eastern Lands. So we need to take a little step through the checkpoint. And I don't know, this little scene is kind of comical. But yeah, not a whole lot else going on yet. We're getting to, actually I want to say this next patch of video is a lot of just story, really. There's just a lot of dialogue to get through, and a little bit of a mini game, which can be easy or, oh, I don't know. I think it's just easy. I guess it can be a little more time consuming, and I think, being that I hadn't done this for so long, I was a little rusty on it, so I could have definitely gone a lot faster if I would have just thought about it a little more. But you know what? I didn't, so we'll have to try to plow through I guess the tactics that I used. Again, I could have done it a lot faster, but you know, I was just rusty and kind of forgot exactly how to go about it the best way. All right. Cigar's taking us to Angel Tower. He's obviously commented just now that he's heard that the main character has transformed on account of Nina several times, so that's why it's kind of like why he's taking Nina with. And that little comment there is kind of just indicative of the main character's personality. You know, he's never come across as real aggressive. Unlike, that's kind of the way I guess I always saw Teepo was more the aggressive type. And again, the main character is more uses his powers to defend his friends, I guess. So once we're here in the Rapala region, this is kind of the first place I go. There is a dragon gene here, as well as I think there's something inside this little hut, maybe like a life shard or something. And oh, wow, yep, good memory. Life shard it is. And there's the gene in the back. And yeah, I talked to it with Nina. You have to have the main character at the head of the party, or else it doesn't do anything. So there's the Thunder Gene. It's a nice little pickup. The Thunder Gene is good for a few specific fights for sure. But that is actually it for this little location right here. There's a couple of fishing spots, so if you've been keeping up on your fishing, I tried to do my best as I could to, at the very least catch one of every fish. Not necessarily spend a ton of time, trying to get the biggest possible fish for everyone, but again, it's kind of good to keep up, because you never know when those fish are going to come in useful. And then here is actually a hidden spot here on this beach, and there's actually a master here called Giotto, I think. I don't know, that might be how to say his name. But he's a fish guy. And actually, ironically, being that we were just talking about fish, he actually requires you to have a certain rank, which I believe is Rod Master, which is, I forget exactly how many points, but you have to have like, it's got to be around 2,000 points to get the Rodmaster rank. So, you know, basically, if you've caught one of every type of fish up to this point that you've been able to catch, you know, you should be there, no problem. But if you've been slacking, you know, that may be a problem. Wow, Gar's still at 13. I don't remember if I think I did actually make Gyato my apprentice first. And I actually was pretty pleased with the results. So the one thing to know about Gyato, did I cancel out of that? It looked like I did cancel now. Yeah. Anyways, Gyato, let's look him up real quick. HP +4, AP +3, power defense and agility -1, and then intelligence -2. So basically, you get +4 HP, +3 AP at a minor hit to your I don't know, what would those be called? Well, whatever, the other stats, and then a -2 to intelligence. Now for Gar, I was really happy actually with him, and I, like I said, I believe I must have come back here in a little bit, like after I took this footage, and actually did pick him up right away at 13. Which, you know, Gar starts out at level 13. Obviously, the rest of my characters are much higher now than him. But that being said, one of the crummy things about Gar, like he's very very physical oriented character, and he is actually very low on AP right at the beginning of the game. So that's actually why I liked Gyato as a beginning master on him. It gave him a bit of AP to you know, to be able to use some more skills. In here, I actually just took some footage of me learning the enemy skills in the area. The lizard man there has the shield spell, but you can't actually learn that from him. You have to learn it from Yggdrasil, and it seems to me like the majority of the magic-like spells, I guess you could call them, the more like the spells that your characters can actually get, Inferno, Shield, I don't know if Purify counts, because I don't know if an enemy character actually uses it, but here's that's Wind Strike, so that's why I took this footage right here, was to get Wind Strike, which is it's an okay ability. I don't know, I don't actually really find it all that useful. But you know, it can be decent for fighting, or if you're fighting anything that's weak to wind. And here's Flying Kick. Flying Kick is actually a really good skill. And here Nina learned it, which was perfect because she's got the highest agility here. And then I can't remember if did I use it right away. I'm trying to remember what I did here. Oh, no, I stuck blind on this guy. Okay, so Tricker has two abilities. The first one is, like I said, it's Flying Kick. And then once you blind him, he uses the skill Target. So that's his requirement, though, to learn Target. So keep that in mind. You have to have him blinded. Look, I think this is... Oh, I stole from him first. They have a gems, which is, you know, it can be sold for a decent amount of cash. I don't know if, I don't remember if you actually have to sell it in the fairy village or not at the relic person or whatever. But so here's Flying Kick. Yeah. Nina just one-shots him. So obviously, the good thing about Flying Kick is that it goes off of your character's agility. So I basically have had Nina under Delonzo the entire time, so she's getting an additional 1 agility every time she levels. And I don't remember exactly what her rating was at this point, or what her agility stat was at right now, but it was pretty high. I mean, obviously she did 77 damage. Target, not as useful, I didn't think. It says it's got 100% land rate, but at half power, and I could have swore I had Momo blinded or something, and her target was missing. So, you know, maybe that's the little caveat. Is that when you're blinded, that doesn't necessarily always land. I'm not sure, but you know, again, it didn't. It says that it's supposed to land 100% of the time, but it actually doesn't. But on, you know, again, on I guess really when it comes down to it, though, I was pretty okay with leaving it on Momo, just because her accuracy is obviously the worst of all the characters. So I mean, and that, and coupled with the fact that she's got a really high base damage on due to all of her weapons, it kind of evens out. So, you know, give it a try, see what you think. But here we are finally in the town of, I always called it Rapala, because it totally reminded me of the lures, and I don't know if that's what they were going for with this whole town. But I mean, it's a fishing village, and this guy up here at the end of the table is the guild master, I believe his official title is, and his name is Sinker. So I don't know. You know, again, it seemed kind of like they were going with the whole fishing and fish-related accessories. So yeah. So this is again, this is kind of where the big bulk of, I guess you'd say, storyline comes in, and you know, again, there's a little bit of a mini game here that's, I don't know if I would even call it fun. It's okay. It's it's just okay. Sinker's here having lunch. Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm surprised I talked to NPCs a little bit more than I normally do in here, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing. But that wasn't really helping my time at all. All right. Oofda. I think it had been a while since I had been in this city, so I did a little bit of maybe unnecessary exploring, just checking. I went through all that trouble to get in there. If I thought that was like some, you know, super secret awesome stuff in there, and there's nothing inside it, and there's nothing back here either. So disappointing. Oh boy. Here's me just exploring, running around, kind of accomplishing nothing. Seems to be my forte lately. It's spending a whole lot of time and not really accomplishing anything. So here we have the trio of Shadis, Zig, and Bade. And actually, I guess there's a fourth guy there, the Iggy, which I don't know. I thought, is he a talking monkey? That's what he looks like anyway, in a little sailor suit, or, you know, at least semi-resembling a sailor suit. I don't know. Super weird, but whatever. I'm just gonna go with talking monkey. So the predicament here is that the guild boat, which is what we're trying to basically book passage on to the other side, the guild boat is gone, and my understanding is that, you know, the lighthouse, being that the lighthouse is broken, that's the reason why the ship can't get back. So maybe it can't, like, navigate or something very well without the lighthouse. I don't know. That's my thought anyway. And so Shadis here is actually Sinker's, the guildmaster's daughter. Bade is the guild bookkeeper, and Zig is the guild's best sailor. And so Shadis is getting frustrated because people keep asking for the ship, and she kind of doesn't feel like there's anything that she could do or that she can do about it. And Bade here, such a weird exchange. Bade here, kind of, I don't know, I don't know if I'd say scold Shadis, but you know, he says just because you're not feeling well doesn't mean you can treat customers that way. And she kind of snaps back at him and says, well, you know, you don't even care what happens, like if I end up having to marry this Zig, which I don't know. Zig actually isn't a bad guy. He's actually a, you know, he looks like a bad dude, and he looks like such a doofus at the beginning of the, you know, when we first meet him here. You know, he's your kind of stereotypical meathead and kind of pushes Bade around here. Looks like he wants to marry Rousen. So the predicament is that Sinker, the guildmaster, wants to marry off his daughter, and you know, it looks like Zig is the top candidate, and obviously Shadis is not happy about that, and thus again, you know, is kind of the reason for, or part of the reason for snapping at Bade there. You know, so there's obviously a little tension between those two. And this guy. All right, so this guy says only guild personnel can get past, and there's scary monsters past there, so he's not gonna let us by. And here we have the lovely Shadis apologizing. So yeah, it sounds like she's got a, you know, that's kind of understandable. You know, the first time I think I ever saw this, I was like, geez, what's up her butt? But you know, it's maybe a little bit more difficult to understand a situation like that when I was, you know, I don't know, 9 or 10 years old, something like that. Whenever that was the first time I played this. But yeah, she's kind of in a sticky situation. You know, it looks like she's gonna end up marrying somebody that she doesn't like. You know, and the guild's not, you know, her livelihood is at stake because the ship can't get back, you know, for whatever reason. So yeah, so at least, you know, she did apologize, so I guess that's something to be said for a character. All right, so Mr. Sinker here says that the only, you know, there's two ways basically to get to the Eastern Lands. One is the ship, two is the volcano, and the road to the volcano is blocked off right now because of a lava overflow. Which, you know, there actually is a third way that he didn't, you know, or he failed to mention, but we'll get to that point in a little bit here. There's my trademark. Standing around not accomplishing anything. Alright, moving on. There is... I'm trying to think of what's in these shops here. It doesn't look like I poked my head in there, but there is... I actually don't believe that there's anything new, other than maybe the moon sword at the weapon shop there. But anyways, you leave town and you automatically set up camp, and you know, and the group is kind of grumbling that there's, kind of looks like there's nothing that we can do, so we're kind of stuck. All Yeah, so that's the consensus, is that we're stuck here. And here's Nina. Nina being Nina. Do you think Bade is in love with Shadis? But he's too shy to tell her. Well, I don't know. Nina seems... I don't know. I don't know how old Nina is supposed to be here, but she's pretty perceptive for such a young lady. And I don't know. I think Nina's adorable. I know, again, you know, she may or may not be very useful in this game. But I don't know. I think she's adorable. All right. So, being that we're apparently stuck here anyway, we may as well go play matchmaker, right? And there's actually a shortcut to the wharf, and it's kind of annoying because I walked through town a couple of times, I guess not remembering that there's actually a shortcut there. But you can, after you've come to the wharf the first time, you can walk on the overworld map. You can actually walk right through Rapala to the wharf, so you don't have to walk, you know, through that first part of town over and over and over, which is kind of nice because there's actually quite a few times where you have to come to this exact spot. So Nina just runs right up to him. So you're in love with Shadis, right? like, yeah, I don't know, what is that? About 5 feet away from her. What are you talking about? Propose? I can't do that. So obviously, Mr. Bade's not very confident in himself. You know, he's like, oh, Shadis needs somebody like Zig, you know, that can kind of get stuff done. All right, so that's our solution. We're gonna trade Bade to beat down Ziggs. Lay the beat down. Show him what's up. Hey, we're not going anywhere until the ship comes, so we might as well. Oh, funny. No, I don't think it'll work. I'm going back to work. Alright. So Bade says no dice. He's not interested in the plan. May take him some time to face the truth. I guess I don't know what they were getting at there. Use that wand. Show that heir who's boss. Alright. So we had a little scuffle here. Zig says he's gonna go fix the lighthouse. Alright, so that's yep, alright, so that's the monkey wrench, or the maybe the catalyst. Is that Zig says he's gonna go fix the lighthouse, and if that ends up happening, then he'll basically have his position as next guild master secured. All right, so I do like what's Zig making a little kissy face here at Shadis or something, and is that, I don't know, is that the talk to the hand? Or no, I don't think so. I'm not sure what she's doing there, but she doesn't seem to be interested. All right, so the idea here is to buy equipment for Mr. Bade, and and train him. I went with I think I switched his equipment up after the initial equip, but I guess I would just suggest starting right with the claymore right away on him, and then oh boy, I want to say is it the breastplate or scale mail? Okay, so one thing to know, that when you do give him these items, you won't be getting them back, but you will get the quote-unquote upgraded versions of whatever it is you give him. So basically, I don't know all the rewards right off the top of my head, but if you say you give him the Scaramasax or whatever that thing is called, it'll upgrade to the Moon Sword, and the Moon Sword upgrades to the Claymore. Claymore upgrades to the Flame Sword, or something like that. So that's what I did. I gave him the Claymore because I wanted that Flame Sword. The armor works a little odd. I don't know. I guess it kind of works in the same general way, but I wasn't real happy with what I got, actually. I gave him the scale mail, which is actually, I think, the most expensive armor that you can buy, but you get the creep cape, something like that, back, which is actually women's armor, which, that's fine, except for the fact that I already had two, because I went through, fishing to get those. And you can actually obtain that before you even get Momo. So that's how you can get an idea of how old that gear is. It's not a bad piece by any means. It's decent armor, but again, I had no use for it. So there may be some other. What else did I try doing? I think I gave him a breastplate, which is a few steps down, or at least one step down, maybe from the scale mail the last time I played through this. And I believe I got the chain cap or something like that. I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be chain cape, whatever. Well, whatever. But that is men's armor, at least, but again, can be obtained the exact same place as the creep cape. So anyways, long story short, you can do this multiple times if you want to play around with the different armors, but I don't know that it's really worth the time. I would suggest just giving him the Claymore. It's a good chunk of change that you're kind of giving away, but you do get it's upgraded to the Flame Sword. So I would suggest that. And then the armor, it kind of just whatever, it doesn't really matter. But a couple of things I will say. Don't bother with speed up. There's no point for that. I don't know why I casted that even. Enemies can't get extra turns on you anyway, so it didn't matter one bit. Being that I was so over leveled for this area, I really had to tone down my characters. So I actually was casting power down, defense down on my characters, and so on and so forth. But if you're appropriate leveled, and actually in all honesty, I could have just equipped really crappy weapons and stuff on my characters to kind of get the same effect anyway. And in my opinion, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. One thing that you can do is, if you don't want to spend any time training bait at all, you don't have to. There's actually a way that you can beat Zig on the first turn if you do this. If you basically, if you have focus from Bunyan and super combo, and your character is really buff, you can actually super combo Zig on the first turn and just one-shot him, and that won't count as an interference, because in a little bit here you'll see it, but you actually have, once you actually have Bade fight Zig, you can't interfere until certain times. Well, if your Bade is super weak, Zig will just one-shot him the first turn, if you don't spend any time working on his stats like this. So again, you know, if you can get away, if you're powerful enough to super combo Zig on the first turn, you can actually beat him that way. But I did not decide to go that route. I've never actually tried that. Just, you know, that was just a strategy that I looked up. But anyways, long story short, what I would suggest doing is, you know, if you're a bit less maybe leveled, or have if you've been holding on to your crummy armor and stuff, what you can do is actually like take all the armor off of your characters and just equip them with really crappy weapons. And then you can cast Protect on Bade, and you know, if you really want, if your Momo is high enough level, she has the Might spell. You can cast Might on Bade to make him hit harder. But the idea is that he gets attack bonuses, and I actually think his attack, I want to say his attack bonus caps out at +6 or something like that. So if he deals enough damage during your 20-turn training phase, you can get, you know, like I said, you can get like a +6 to his attack rating. That is honestly, though, not that important. In my opinion, the best way to do this is to get Bade low on health so that he goes into that stance right there. If you see, he's kind of crouched back and like covering his head. That means he's defending, and I think the game actually prompts you that Bade is defending. And what you want to do is every time he takes a hit like that, and he's in the defending stance, he gets a defense point. And the really cool part about that is if you get your characters with like crappy enough weapons, when you hit him like that, it'll do 0 damage. If you notice here, I actually knock him out of the defense stance after I hit him. And if you do 0 damage, you don't knock him out of that defense stance, and he'll just keep defending, and you'll keep getting the bonuses for it. And there's a couple of ways. There's actually more than one way to do that too. If you've mastered under Durandal, he should have Backhand, I believe, is the skill. And I have not used that. And again, you know, I haven't actually tried it out. But from what I've read, Backhand will not kill him. So I don't know if that just, you know, if it'll only do 1 damage, or you can get him down to 1 health and it won't kill him. But you know, try it out, you know. And if you try it and have good results, you know, maybe leave a comment and let me know how it worked for you. But the way I did it, and it's I don't know, it was an okay way, I guess. This felt a little tedious. So I don't know if I would recommend doing it this exact way. But you know, in my opinion, the best way to do it is actually to get him right down into that defend range, because he'll defend at, you know, whatever. I think he's at like, if he's at like a quarter health or lower, he'll go into that defensive stance. And then I just knocked him on his butt on accident. You know, but that was actually that ended up being a really good training session. Let's see what his stats ended up being. So, all right, so he took 3 hits. That actually ended up being really crappy. I don't know. That seems really crappy. Anyway, that seemed like just a lot of work for very little game. But again, so in all honesty, my opinion, that the best, I guess I would say the best way, or the way I prefer to do it, was to get him in that defensive stance, and then, you know, just equip your characters with really weak weapons so that you're doing no damage to him. And if you can pull that off, you will get just tons and tons of defense ups. And in all honesty, I think that, or I felt like that was the best stat to boost up. Because when you actually go to fight Zig gets a lot of lucky strikes, and it just does a ton of damage. Like, if you don't train Bade at all, Zig will just one-shot him on the first turn. So you know, you really need to get his defense stat up, in my opinion. The HP stat, I don't know. I didn't really feel like that was even that useful either. You can see there I took his HP down a ton. I healed him a bunch of times, and I hit him with some more stuff, you know, to bring his HP. And he just didn't gain that much. So it felt like a lot of work for very, very little gain. And, you know, like I said, so I don't have the footage of the last time I did this. But, again, you know, I got him really low. I was doing basically no damage. The other really great thing, or the thing that will be very helpful as well, is if you've got a really fast character that'll get extra turns, because if you get that character with extra turns and they're doing, you know, 0 damage to him, that's basically two defense bonuses every turn instead of just one. So, you know, you can double your efficiency by being faster. So yeah, you know, and I would suggest that would be how to do it. The last time I did this with that the strategy I just outlined, I didn't have to help Bade at all, because Bade he was taking no damage from Zig, and I bet if I could estimate, I would say that he gained like 25 bonuses to his defense. And you know, I basically, you know, I just let him hit me if, you know, however many times it took. And, you know, with that Claymore, he was able, again, with the Claymore, he was able to just crush Ziggs really bad without my help at all. So yeah, I don't know, I guess I would suggest doing it that way. If you find, you know, you can't really lose this mini game either. So that's the other good thing. Even if you decide to prompt the lighthouse or the Zig and Bade fight, and you're not able to, Bade's not able to either survive long enough for you to help him, or you know, for whatever reasons Zig beats him. That doesn't necessarily mean a game over. It just means that you have to train Bade some more. So, you know, eventually you'll get it, even if you don't have very, very good luck, or you don't do it as efficiently, I guess, maybe as you could. But you know, again, it's really boils down to how much time you want to spend on it. And I think just doing it like this, I think this was, what did I do? I think I did 3 training sessions with Bade, and, you know, there was a couple of times where I just smacked him way too hard, or I got a reprisal that I wasn't expecting, and it just ended up killing him. So, you know, and that's gonna happen. You can't predict when your characters are going to, you know, to get those reprisals. So that's just kind of, it's just them's the breaks, I suppose. And if you can see from my main character's spells, I've just got, I don't know, I'm super leveled. I mean, my HP is insane, even 224. I recently, after I took this footage, it wasn't long after this, but I decided to restart my game again, for actually a 3rd time, just because I wasn't happy with I don't know, a couple things. So I just restarted, and, you know, again, just looking at my health, I'm just way over leveled, and I spent a lot of time gaining. Actually, it would have been the life shards, the items that give you +1 to your max health. So obviously, you know, I spent a lot of time gaining those. Not to mention the fact that I spent a ton of time in the volcano getting. You can get what are those things called there? Proteins, yeah, to buff up your character's defense. So I spent a lot of time in there too. Spade defends. All right, so I must have hit him with a heal spell. So I would not recommend doing that though. Again, this last time I did this, I did that very, very, very differently. But once you get him in that defense stance, he actually, if you heal him over that like quarter, he will go back into like this fight stance, where he'll go back to attacking you, and you won't get those defense up. So, again, the goal, I guess if I could just sum everything up, I would say the goal is to get him in that defense stance. Don't heal him. Make sure your characters are basically hitting for nothing, and then just unload on him over and over and over. Just keep hitting him, because every time you hit him, he'll get a defense up. If that means using the backhand skill, like I said, go ahead and try that. I never did. Especially in this last playthrough, I came in here really, really low level. I will say I came in here at such a low level that the game was actually very, very difficult. I've never done a low level challenge for this game, but boy, I can see how it would be quite difficult. I want to say I was around 10 to 12, something like that, when I came through here this last time. And again, it was I didn't have to do much to make my characters weak, and it ended up working out really, really well. I think Nina was the only one that was getting extra turns, but it was enough, and I think I put a pointed stick on her, which is her, the weakest weapon that you can, I believe it's the weakest anyway, that you can equip on her. One other, I guess, neat thing that you could do is if you got him low like this, and say your character's doing like 1 damage, you could actually use like a berries on him or a croc tier, because that's only going to restore 5 health. So you can kind of keep him into that I don't know, danger zone, where he's going to keep defending. So, I don't know. Food for thought, I suppose. But yeah, see, this was not very efficient at all. Like, to keep getting him low and then healing him back up, it's just, I don't recommend that one bit. I just, like I said, get him low. Wow, that was a pretty juicy crit there. All right, let's see how we ended up here. He took 341 points of damage and only gained 17 health. See, so like, that's just not efficient. It's not a good use of time to hit him, get him low, and then heal him back up. It's just not. You're not getting. I didn't get much out of it. And again, that'll work if that's all you want to do. But it's, again, it's really how much time you want to spend in. But anyways, this video is coming to a close. I suspect the next time will be our actual trip to the lighthouse and the Zig fight. So stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But I hope you keep watching. Thanks.